man. It is officially game week. Obviously, we have already gone live this week, and you know that. But man, it is Wednesday night. It is our first week one Dogs Down South show of the year, leading up to game time, Georgia versus Marshall. It's going to be an exciting show. Fish, welcome in, man. How are you tonight?
Good, man. Great. Super duper pumped. Been waiting on this show since Georgia Notre Dame last year. So
When the
very,
clock
very,
struck
very pumped
zero,
up this week.
yeah, man, when the clock struck zero, we wanted to be right back here going, let's do it all over again.
Well,
And
I
here
was
we
ready
are,
about
man.
halftime.
We're in Sanford Stadium, man. I mean, if you look behind us, we're ready to go.
Yep,
Field's ready. All it needs is some fans. I wish we were in Sanford Stadium. Uh,
that'd be great.
you know how, like, I don't know about you, man, but back in high school, like, sports, and I was in band, and everybody always wanted to be like, let's sleep on the field the night before the game. And I'm like, ain't nobody going to let us sleep on the field. Can you imagine, man, if you're like, I could just spend the night in Sanford Stadium? Like, we're
Oh, that
those
would be great.
crazy weirdo fans, right? That might
Yeah.
just think about doing it, right?
Oh yeah,
Wow,
definitely.
man. Fun show planned tonight. First off, Fish, man, tell me, I mean, we talk about weather, but man, we actually were in the 80s today, man. What were y'all like? What was your weather today?
Yeah, I think it got up to like 86.
Okay, so still kind of the same.
Yeah,
Are you
yeah,
guys
just a
expecting some 70s this
yeah,
weekend?
yeah, definitely. It got
Wow.
down to about 72 last night. It's supposed to get down into the 60s tonight.
Wow. Dude, I envy
Yeah,
that, man. It's
that's
crazy. Now,
nuts.
that's football weather.
It
That's
is
football weather. So, you know what?
perfect. It won't
We open
last,
up
but
in Athens. Yeah.
I'm gonna enjoy it
What was
while
that?
it's here. I said it won't last, but I'm gonna enjoy it while it's here because
You know,
it'll
man.
get hot again before fall.
Yeah. But it just means we're into football season, but like it feels like it's been a while since we opened up in a home opener, right?
Yeah,
Like usually we're neutral site, we're on the road, but like we got the crisp 70-degree air coming into Georgia. We open up in Athens. It's just the right time of the year, man. We got football starting tomorrow night,
right.
Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. We're gonna pick all those games tonight. We're gonna talk a lot of football, but it's just good to be on, man. Good to be hanging out. If you
Definitely.
haven't already done so, make sure that you go like and follow Dogs Down South. We are on Apple Podcasts. We are on TikTok, Dogs Down South, YouTube, Facebook, and Spotify. You can catch us on any of those sites and obviously live Monday and Wednesday. Most Monday nights will be what's called an overreaction show, where basically we'll have an SEC follow up and kind of follow up from the games. I myself might do them by myself, but I love to have these guys. But this isn't our job. This is definitely a hobby. So we're gonna try to commit to Wednesday nights for these shows. So it's gonna be a fun night. Let's hop in, Fish. Let's hop in,
Let's
and
go.
we are what 3 days. So what business days are we? Because you're keeping us up to date on that.
2 business days.
We're 2 business days. Perfect. 2 business days till 3:30. Sanford Stadium, Georgia versus Marshall. Icebreaker tonight. Breaking news. Joel Aguaro. So media and social. Let me say social media. Media/social media has reported there's a possibility that we have a little bit of an injury on the brink of this game with Joel Aguaro. I don't know what the injury is. You're probably like, well, then why are you breaking this? It's been kind of been heard on more than one social media platform, so it's starting to get a little bit of traction per se. Obviously, we like what we have in the secondary, and I think we've recruited well, and we've gone to the portal and got some really good guys in the secondary.
Yep.
But Joel is a guy that's supposed to come on strong for us this year. What would it mean for Joel? I know probably what it would mean not to play against Marshall or Austin P, but to the extent of the injury, like what would it mean to not have Joel back there in that secondary?
And the bigger games, like you said, like week 3, Tennessee. I think it might, you know, mean a lot,
Yeah,
especially as far as depth goes, which is something I don't think we have a lot of. We're not a deep, deep, deep proven secondary. Like outside of the starters, there's not a lot of experience to speak of.
right,
So I
right.
mean, we're definitely going to need him, as the SEC grind starts September
Yeah,
13th.
yeah. And I don't. I mean, like I said, I definitely looked it up, and it's coming across different platforms, but like doesn't seem like anything major. I know there's players like, I mean, We went out and got Adrian Maddox from UAB, and I heard Adrian Maddox is doing a really great job. He comes in with a lot of experience. I think, it's not Joel, but he's a senior. He's seen D1 football. It's not like he was playing high school ball last year. You got Jaden Harris, who's a redshirt junior behind him. There seems like some depth at that position, but you wish Joel. Hopefully, if this is something that is going to extend some time to get better, you wish him the best. But I'm I'm saying maybe it might not be without hearing the exact rumor. It might not be anything to it, but wanted to put it on the radar. So if everybody came out there and goes, "Hey man, didn't see 8 out there this week. What's going on?"
Yeah.
Could be dealing with a small injury on the home front. Another little icebreaker tonight as we kind of do our around the SEC before we get into Georgia. So man, you're a fan of Paul Feinbaum. I don't know if
Love
you're a fan of
Feinbaum.
Paul Feinbaum, but maybe you're entertained by the show. Which one is it? You can clarify.
No, both. A little bit of column A,
Okay.
a little bit of column B. I don't like some of the callers just call and they don't even talk football. They just argue with other callers, and it's like Jerry Springer, but over the phone.
Right.
You know,
Right.
and Paul's the mediator, but he just lets them talk. And sometimes it's just they don't even talk football anymore. But
Right.
when he has like the good guests on and everything like that, it's very informative. That's where I get a lot of my news from, actually.
Okay.
So, it's a good show.
Yeah. Well, he's continued to repeat over and over and over that his biggest worry about Georgia this year is Gunnar Stockton. I mean, but it seems like that Paul Feinbaum is that guy that kind of always latches on to the fastest thing moving, right? You look at Georgia, you look at a lot of different scenarios with Georgia this year where they're going to be strong, where they need to improve. And it would seem like the easy place to pick on was Gunnar Stockton. Why? Because if it was left up to Paul Feinbaum, you really can't read if he thought it was Georgia's fault with Carson Beck or it was Carson Beck's fault with Georgia, right?
Yeah.
So my biggest thing is, and I want to throw some things out. I, I want to give some reasons why we think Paul has such a big deal with this. Because I mean, I don't really like to give Paul Feinbaum the time of day, but I would love to troll Paul Feinbaum a little bit because I would say that Paul Feinbaum hasn't really been right about everything he's ever said. I wish
No.
I had about 10 clips about what he was wrong about. But like I'll give you one. We can bounce it back and forth. One thing I think that scares Paul Feinbaum the most is to actually be right about Georgia, right? He
Hmm.
he he has had Georgia when Georgia's been Georgia when he shows up on campus, possibly when um, SEC Nation happens to drop off, he's best friends and he was always a Georgia guy. But when he leaves there and he's on the show most of the time, he doesn't have a lot of faith in Georgia. I think him and Gunnar Stockton have these reasons behind it because, in all honesty, he doesn't see this blue chip, highly recruited top 1 or 2 quarterbacks in the nation. He's not a quarterback that's highly ranked by all these news outlets and things of that nation. So he kind of goes with the flow of the fastest thing moving. And so instead of kind of putting his face in it and looking for himself, he relies on what everybody else says. And if you look at where Gunner's at in somebody's minds, he's probably the 8th, ninth, maybe even 10th best quarterback in the SEC. So I think
Hmm.
for one, he doesn't trust himself. He trusts more of media, right? What
Hmm.
what what else you got? What do you think?
No, I agree definitely. And when he's on the morning shows like Get Up and First Take, he's doing the controversial thing, you know, because he'll contradict himself on the show in the afternoon, but in
Right.
the mornings he's just on that show to like stir the pot basically. And him and Heather Dinich, who is a pretty good media personality, they just kind of go back and forth on those shows. And then
Right.
when you hear them on the Feinbaum show or like College Football Live or any of those shows, Sports Center, they backtrack kind of, not explicitly, but you can tell like their opinions are different,
Right.
so but yeah, I mean, you're right. I mean, and plus he's just blinded by the Manning Express. That's just everybody's on that hype train,
Yeah.
and he's the conductor.
Yeah.
Like he's up front blowing the whistle, driving the train. He's all about Arch. He loves him some Arch.
And I don't get it, man. Like I don't get it. You would think Paul Fine maybe he's just too old to be himself. It's like I've been here too long to kind of have my Paul Feinbaum hot take where it's like, man, Paul Feinbaum called it, right? I think he's living off I'm just breaking some news that I heard from someone who heard from someone, and then I'm going to have these callers that come on here and just jaw jack all the time. And then I think what happens is, man, these idiots get on the phone, and he looks like the smartest man in the room because of the fact of
Well,
what
he's
called in
talking
that
to
day.
idiots.
Yeah,
He's
yeah, yeah, yeah,
talking
yeah,
to idiots.
yeah. Exactly,
Oh,
exactly, man.
just people that people that he can pick at and poke at and stir them up, and
Right.
then he like kicks the hornet nest, and then he just sits back and he lets them go at it.
Yeah. I also think that he also doesn't. I don't think he likes Kirby Smart as a full coach, as far as like a being a well-rounded coach. You've heard him make comments about his time with Nick Saban. He loves Nick Saban and
Oh
how
my
great of a
God.
defensive coordinator he was. I don't think he trusts Kirby as a coach. I think he looks back and goes, maybe he got lucky those last 2 years of those the Natties. And I mean, what do you think? I don't think he doesn't ever talk about Kirby. He just kind of lets him
No.
where there's other coaches where he's like, I mean, Chip Kelly, Nick Saban.
Oh
I
my
think
God, he
he
loves Chip
secret
Kelly.
yeah, he
He has
secretly
Chip
likes
Kelly
Lane
on
too.
every Monday. Oh my God, every Monday Chip Kelly's on, and that's why I don't have a lot of respect. That's why I don't like Chip Kelly as a coach.
Right, right.
As a person, I have no idea, but as a coach, I don't. He's not a very good coach,
Yeah,
and I love that Notre Dame is good when he's gone. Like they didn't miss a beat. Maybe even gotten a little better.
yeah. I kind of wish. Do you ever wish that like Feinbaum would be more of like a Big 12 guy and not an SEC guy? Like it's just a poor representation of the SEC, man. Like,
Well, he's no Lee Corso, but he's very knowledgeable. You know, but again, he also and it's just more recently than it has been. Like, a few years ago when I really got into the Bomb show, it wasn't like that.
right,
Like all the callers were good callers. Not all of them were good, but they talked football at least. They didn't talk about people's families, or you know what gas station has the best, fried chicken, and
right,
stuff
right,
like
right.
that. Like they actually talked about sports and about football, and the show was a lot better. Then I admit it has kind of
Yeah,
declined a little bit, recently in the past couple of years because it's getting away from the subject matter that made it great.
yeah,
That why it has the following it has right now.
yeah. I just I think I can see him better used as like maybe he's on like the SEC History Channel, right? Maybe he's talking SEC history, but man, I mean, I just want to see him sometimes go back at some of these idiots that they have on. I mean, they're the ones press and go, bringing these
Hmm.
guys on. They're like, man, who's this
Yeah,
guy? And they know who they are, man. Like they're
they
like,
do.
it's
Oh,
so
a
it's
lot of the
all
guests, a lot of the guests. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Are
no, no,
like
you're good.
radio personalities and like
Hmm.
people who have podcasts and stuff like that. Like Legend is like a radio DJ or something.
Wow.
They all are doing something. They're not just Joe Schmo from down the street.
Yeah, that's wild, man. Well, we're gonna pick all these games at the end. I thought it'd be cool before we hop into Georgia in this really in-depth preview of Georgia to talk about two questions. What would be the most embarrassing loss of week one, and what would be the most damaging loss of week one? So I'll let you go first because I thought through these, and as I look at these games, when we get ready to pick them here later on before the show ends, I was thinking to myself, what would be the most embarrassing loss in the SEC? And I'm gonna let you take lead on this one. When you saw this question, what came to mind for you?
Uh, Kentucky, but if that wouldn't be as big a surprise, that wouldn't be as shocking. And I think shocking is something you have to factor in to that question. Like Missouri,
Yeah,
if Missouri went down, that would be pretty bad. I don't think Drink would lose his job or even be on the hot seat because of all the success he's had recently.
right.
But I think that would be embarrassing. That would definitely be the most embarrassing.
Yeah,
Damaging, ugh, Auburn. I like that. I think that's a good one. I really do. Georgia also. which I'm not worried about us. I think
Yeah.
we're going to be fine. But, imagine Marshall coming in there, boom, there goes like any mystique about our home field advantage, for like the
Right.
rest of the season.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree with both of those. I mean, I I agree with what most and maybe Kentucky's not most likely to happen, but it has been stirred a little bit as far as I mean, you look at Baylor and Auburn, damaging. I would say that would be very damaging to Auburn because I know last night I was able to have Tim Estes on here. He's a Auburn guy, and there are Auburn fans that Georgia fans that are close friends, except for on those weekends. I mean, that's your household fish, right?
Yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah.
that's you and your wife. So
Yeah. Right.
so my thing is though is he had a good take too. He said, would 2-2 be damaging? You lose to Baylor, you lose to Oklahoma. He seemed to think 0-1 would be incredibly damaging right out of the gates. Right, you lose to Baylor, the sky's falling. Hugh Freeze ain't the guy. His golf game comes up. His 3 quarterback system comes up.
I
His
mean,
9 different play callers come up, and I mean it's damaging, man. I
they
mean,
they still got to go to Oklahoma, and they still have to play Alabama and Georgia.
yeah,
A
yeah,
loss, a week one loss, wouldn't necessarily put them out of the playoffs,
right,
because you can lose an out of conference game now that it's a 12-team playoff and still sneak in there as long as you have some
right,
success in the SEC.
right,
But that's a gauntlet, dude. Their schedule
yeah.
is not easy after that Baylor game.
Yeah, and I mean, it's gone back and forth the line. I mean, the line went. I mean, 2 weeks ago the line was 2.5 to Baylor, and in 2 weeks it's shifted 2.5 to Auburn. And so maybe this. I don't know what the 2.5 to Baylor was about coming out of the box. Maybe because it was a home
No,
game, and
home field 3
yeah,
points.
yeah.
Home field is worth 3 points.
I can agree with that, man. But I don't know what. Maybe Jackson Arnold started having a little bit better of a fall. I don't know. I think embarrassing wise, I mean, bro, when you look at Kentucky now, let's look at this. First off, Kentucky and Toledo. Now we know Toledo a little bit. They came in one year at Georgia and had this really high flying offense, and they were really exciting to watch. And it is Toledo. It's not like Toledo's has been known to play pretty decent college football. It ain't like
Yeah.
they own the 0-29 streak or something. They're a pretty fairly decent team. So this is no like Division 2, Division 3 opener out of the
Yeah.
box. But
Yeah.
they're at home and they're only favored by 9.5 points over Toledo.
That's why I don't
And
think that would be a very big surprise, man, if
okay,
Toledo went in there and pulled the upset, dude. I've actually
okay,
heard some people talking about it on like
yeah,
College Football Live. They have
yeah,
actually talked about that.
yeah. There's not even a point spread on Missouri, so I mean, I could see that Central Arkansas would be upset of the year. I mean, it would go back to some of the things like App State beating Michigan on the,
Oh yeah.
it would be one of those, you
Yep.
know. Definitely interesting. I don't know if we see those things, but I do know
Eh,
we are going to see some things
we're
this
gonna see
weekend.
some things for sure. There's
Yeah,
gonna
we're going
be
to see some.
something. There's gonna be a game that everybody's gonna have their jaw on the floor.
Yeah. So before we get into Georgia and we've previewed Georgia a lot over the summer. We're really going to get in depth into some things we may see as far as stirring up the starting lineup and what some of the viewers and listeners may see on Saturday. Before we do that, we always like to preview a little bit of the team we're facing. Definitely throughout the year, we'll be able to really dig and dive deep more into the SEC teams we play. But Marshall, obviously, some things about Marshall. This is a team that really got gutted last year, right? Totally revamped. Over, I think, 70% plus of this team was not on this team last year. A lot of portal,
Yeah.
a lot of transfers, a lot of new guys, a lot of freshmen. This is a very young team. Tony Gibson is the head coach for Marshall. And so obviously you look at Marshall, you look at tradition of Marshall, and things of that nature. This is not some, you know, this is not some game you haven't heard of. We know back in the day. I remember me and you probably both in the same era, growing up watching Marshall. They had some pretty good teams back
Randy
in the day. I
Moss.
mean,
And what
yeah,
was that? Chad Pennington? Was that the quarterback?
Chad Pennington. Yeah, Byron Leftwich was from Marshall, correct? Byron
Yep.
Leftwich.
Yep.
Yeah,
I think
Marshall.
so. Yeah.
So they had some dudes here or there come out of there. I mean, some names may you see. I mean, just to kind of show you where we're at with this. I mean, there is some players on here that have some length in the league. League feels like the league with NIL within the college football ranks. So Carlos Del Rio Wilson is a number you'll see out there at quarterback for Marshall, number 7. You're looking at a running back named Tony Mathis Jr., who's a redshirt senior. These are old guys, man. I mean, they've been there, they've done that. They know what running the football and throwing the football look like. These are
Yep.
two redshirt seniors in here. I'm pretty sure they're well transferred around, as well as Zion Turner. As when you look at the wide receiver position, the name that pops up is DeAndre. If I can read this, Tamarez, Xavier Short, Jacoby Baldwin, and Antonio Harmon fill out the receiver core. And from what I understand, the tight end group is really, really um, a group that stands out for Marshall as far as playmakers. Toby Payne, Tracy Stevens. Toby Payne is a really big kid, number 81. You'll hear his name called a lot. So
Mhm.
that's kind of from an offensive standpoint, just a little kind of like, hey, who are we looking at? This is an offensive line though that is, once again, if you look at the offensive line, very very tenured. A lot of juniors, seniors on this offensive line. So talent, it might not match up, but we got some guys from Marshall that have played the game. So
Mhm.
this won't be a deer in the headlight look when they run in the stadium. Now maybe Sanford Stadium home opener. Haven't seen this in a couple years. It's going to be electric at 3:30. But then some
Yes.
names on defense you might want to hear is Braden Ward, a defensive end, redshirt sophomore kid that's got a lot of talent. Young guys. The defense is a little bit younger now on the other side. You got names like Cam Smith. Also, a name that popped out was Jalen Parker, as I did a little bit of looking around, number 7, redshirt senior, been around the league for a long time, transferred, a lot of transfers. One thing you see on this lineup is TR almost by every single person, meaning this roster is turned over and it's going to be really hard for them to play with a lot of continuity and togetherness. And so, obviously, this being an opener, you want to see from Georgia, and I'm going to let you chime in. You really want to see what, Fish? You want to see, for me, we want to get off to a fast start. We don't want this to be a game in the second half, and I think we're capable of doing that. But what's your take on that? Like, what do you want to see? Just very general things you want to see coming out against Marshall on Saturday.
Dude, what was Marshall's NIL budget? Like, what are they paying all these transfers? Or like, how did they get them to come transfer to their school? Like, at
Yeah.
what point, how deep is it? How deep are their pockets? Or are they offering them like $50 and like a gym membership, or something, like a Starbucks gift card? Like,
Well, this sounds
it's got to
bad, but
be.
you look at like the J, not, bad word for the JV, but you look at like the second string of the NFL, right? Or if this is your last chance to get on film, put some good stats out to
Yeah.
get it to have a chance to do anything after football,
Oh yeah.
this is it. So maybe NIL is not much, and like you said, it could be for more of like, hey, you got a meal card, you got a last year, we get you on film, and maybe we get you, your free scooter that drives
Or
around the
something. You know what I mean?
like,
Like,
right? No
I
Lambos.
mean, who
No
knows?
Lambos though, brother.
No Lambos in Marshall.
No Lambos.
No.
Green ones. Green
Yeah.
Jeeps, maybe. I don't know.
Green Jeeps.
Uh, but yeah, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting. And Kirby, man, Kirby's so respectful. He's not gonna sit up on that podium. When he previewed Marshall, apparently he said they actually started Marshall about halfway through the week last week, which was
Hmm.
pretty wild because you know how Kirby is, man. Like if he feels like he can get a few practices on us, he will. He'll continue to grind it out and get us better. But
Hmm.
sounded like he felt good about Marshall prep. Sounded like he said, felt like he was in a good spot this week. Even had a Tuesday presser this week. Um, so feel good about this. I think that just the running general idea is get off to a fast start,
Big
get
time.
some of these players some touches, get them the real life feel, and then get them out of the game and get some of these young kids some shots, because with the schedule we have this year, there could be a very good chance that they're they don't see much. I mean, depending on how far and how deep we go into this game with some of the backups, I mean, we'll tell the tape on who gets to play who we get to see play. We'd love to see Taylor Taylor. We'd love to see some of these guys that are the future and could be the now of Georgia football. But let's toss it around a little bit with Georgia as well. So I thought it'd be cool to just give the viewers like 3 things. We can pitch it back and forth. 3 things on offense, defense, and coaching that has to happen for Georgia to be successful this year. I did a little quick 60-second hot take on TikTok about some outside of the box things to think about. In other words, yes, some of the things we're going to say are every fan is thinking we got to do this, right? But to set the record straight, I think these are things, Fish, that if we don't do them, I don't think we can sit there on Saturdays and go, well, we'll get it figured out. I don't think we're going to be at that point. I think these are going to be some things that we have to have figured out, because if we wait to try to figure them out against Alabama, Texas, Ole Miss, and into the season, I don't know if we're going to have the season. And we may have the season that we want to get to the playoffs, but we're going to find ourselves in the same situation as last year, going home early, right?
Yep.
So let's hop
Very
right
possible.
in. I'll give one, and I'll let you throw a couple around as well. I already said it. I'll get the one out of the way. I think it's the elephant in the room. We got to get out the fast starts. Number 1 on our list is get out the fast start. Productive drives that either end in success in areas of offense or positive offense production, but points ideally would be best, right? Do you agree?
Especially against teams that we're expected to be up on. Like I said last week, man, if we don't get at least 28 first half, it's going to be a disappointment.
Right.
Like, we got to be completely different than we were last year. We have to.
Yeah.
In order to have the success we want to have. And I think we got the playmakers to do it. And my take, my number 1 thing would be the receivers got to catch the ball.
Okay.
And we can't be number 2 or number 1. I think were we number 2 most drops throughout the whole season? We had like 35, 36, something like that. And it wasn't like those were just screens. Like, those were big plays. Potential drive, continuing, momentum shifting catches, some of them at least.
Right.
That's super important. Them boys got to help Gunner, because he's going to need the support. We think. We don't know. We're not sure what we're going to get. Right. We know what we hope, but we're not actually sure.
Yeah. I love it. I agree. Playmaker, I think I had it in mind as well. Number 2 is, I think we can dial that under playmaker possession. Got to get the ball. We got to receive the ball before we can go and do anything with the ball. And we didn't do a lot of that last year, because I think Gunner needs to deliver I have it down as, he's got to be a mailman and not a superhero. He's got to deliver the packages and not sell the product. Talent around
Channel
him.
His inner.
Yeah. Talent around him is solid, man. Like,
yep.
But I don't want to get too high and too low, because we sat here at the same time last year and said, is this the best receiving core that Georgia's ever had? And it was like, maybe it was on a talent level, but something didn't connect. We just didn't catch the football last year.
Yep.
And I do understand that, Carson can't throw a better catchable ball, but like, I don't know sometimes, man, like when there's just not trust and there's no, I keep using this word, but it's a true word, like continuity. It's like relationship. It's like, do we zig and zag? It can tell a lot about, you used to look at Stetson and Brock, and don't get me wrong, Brock Bowers is an absolute freak of nature in so many ways. But man, Stetson used to have to put the ball in an area, not a box. If he put it in this vicinity with Ladd and people like him and Rosemi Jack Saint, it was in an area, it was caught,
Yep.
And so I agree. And I think the other third thing that's captain obvious, run the football, man. I don't care if it's running backs, wide receivers catching it on end arounds, quarterbacks. Let's be exotic and let's get the ball into their hands, block, and go back to the Georgia football of old. Do you agree?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I don't know how much of it was play calling or the execution, the Jimmys and Joes and the X's and O's, I mean, I think I think it's a 50-50 marriage. You have to get the same amount from both, you know. I
Yeah.
mean, and who knows? Because our running back room got blasted with injuries last fall camp, actually, before the season even started. And, thank
Right.
God we had Nate Frazier to
Yeah.
help us out because he carried the load last year.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
as far as depth goes, giving ETN, a spell.
Yeah.
That was real important. That's why we had to grind out some of those games, at the end. Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. I
Crazy.
mean, you like to see the, I guess maybe the thing of like surprise. Like we could play action last year and nobody cared. Like,
Nope. Nope.
I mean, when we faked the handoff, they were like, it just became a motion that was already in the play that it was almost like we were practicing it because it's in the play. But
Hmm.
every linebacker and every cornerback never bit, man. Because in all honesty, you go back and I watched some of that. I went through this terror about a month and a half ago of catching the Georgia Ole Miss game on a replay. And man, we would fake the ball. Linebackers didn't even take a step forward, man. Did not. They trusted the fact that the defensive line was going to take care of it, or at least get them to the point where if they had to make a tackle, it wasn't going to be a surprise. So,
Hmm.
I mean, running the football, I hope to see a lot of running backs on. I mean, you hope to see success by Nate, but between him, between obviously touches by, I've heard good things about Chauncey. When you look at Josh McCray, Bo Walker, you look at Rod Robinson. I mean, you hope to see a plethora of these guys and see them be very successful. Because if you see
Yep.
all five of these guys be successful, what does that point to, Fish? That points to an offensive line now that's doing their job. That
Yep.
means anybody could be back there, and the
That's right.
offensive line's paving the way. So
Yep.
good stuff. Love those three takes. I'll review them again. Fast starts, possess the football, catch the football, and then uh, and we got to run the ball. We got to be successful running the ball, and those are the three big things. Like those are the three non-negotiables I call them. So let's look
Hmm.
at three non-negotiables on defense. Fish, you wanna hammer out one? What you got?
D line got to stop the run. Gotta help the linebackers out.
D
Gotta.
line stopping the
That's
run.
so important.
Yeah,
We attrition again. That's another position group that got blasted with injuries last year, man, and didn't have a lot of experience.
right.
And it showed. And our backers had to do a lot, and sometimes our safeties had to come up and help out a lot, which they do anyway. Well, but it seems like last year they had to do it a little more, a little more often, and
Right.
that's not good when guys are getting to the second and third level like that.
I agree. Number one, it's either the number one troll or there's truth behind it. Is the defensive line over fall camp? I mean, there's been concerns, but when I look at the defensive line, it would have to be because of health. Because
Hmm.
I really have a lot of trust in these guys. I think they can be great. I really do, and I do know there's some other defensive lines and defenses that are going to have some maybe a little bit bigger names, maybe a little bit more upside. But I think this, as I've heard it been said, I think this group can play well as a unit, right? And
Hmm.
that's all we need.
They just got
That's
to
all
be
we really need.
solid.
Yeah,
They just got to be solid. Like they don't have to go out there and all compete for the whatever the defensive lineman of the year trophy is.
yeah,
They just got to
yeah,
go out there and be solid.
yeah. I
Take up
agree.
space. Cause havoc a little bit of havoc.
Yeah, I agree. So we circled that into havoc, play by play hurries, timing. I think is key in there. Disruptions. I mean, the ulterior is get sacks, right? Get quarterback on the ground. But if not, man, like we need a dirty pocket. We
Hmm.
need some deflected passes. We need some caused, bailout rushes and let them play into our hands where we can start swatting the ball and pulling the ball and trying to cause fumble. I mean, we need havoc. We need
Yep.
chaos. I love it. I
Yep.
love that. I totally agree with you. My second one would be we need to tackle well. We need to tackle really, really well because this is a group of games that when you look at inside and outside of the conference, all of these teams are going to know that Georgia is a good defense, right? And so what's going to happen is when you do get a play or two here or there, you just got to make sure that you don't allow it to be the backbreaker, right? We got to tackle well. When we get to the second level, we got to show why our linebacker core is so well coached and so talented, and we got to show why our secondary has the opportunity to be the best secondary that we've had probably in the past 10 years of Kirby Smart being here. It has the chance to do that. What else you got, Fish? Defensive non-negotiables for us to play national championship football this year.
Tackling is something that I was already thinking of. That's that's super important, super important. But one thing we don't seem to do a lot well, which is kind of surprising, even on like some of our better defenses, like in 21 and 22, is sacks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like we're not at the top of the league, not even the top 3 or 4 or
Yeah.
5 in sacks, over the
Yeah.
past few seasons, which is kind of surprising.
Yeah.
A Kirby Smart defense, they're gonna play sound fundamental ball, but they also get sacks.
Yeah.
Think about some of those Alabama defenses that he coached, and how what the monsters they had, the playmakers they had, and how much they were wreaking havoc and sacking the quarterback. I mean, we played them, you know,
I agree.
just
I agree.
that's something that we've gotta have this year. I would love to see us like top 2 or 3 in the league in sacks. That'd be great.
It's an A+ take. I agree. I could not agree more. Um, I feel like when a sack comes, sometimes we're like, it's like a breath of fresh air. We don't see it much. I think we get excited when we knock balls down and we cause things to happen, or we blow up a play. Now we are notorious for blowing up plays, which I like. I mean, we are
Very true.
we
I
are
love
really
that.
good. Yeah, we are really good for anticipating and blowing up plays. But I agree, sustainable blocking and getting into to the interior and just absolutely taking away, in my opinion, possessions.
Hmm.
You get a sack on second and I mean definitely third down, but you get a sack on first, second down on pass plays, you're almost taking away a possession because
Yep.
Georgia's not the type that's going to allow you to get 25 yards back most of the time.
Hmm.
You know,
That's right.
15, 25 yards. So I agree with you. Great take. Another one I'd slide in there for the third one would be just get off the field on third down. Now, this is not one of the things I would say I'm saying this because we don't do a good job of it, right? I think I'm saying this because it's crucial that we don't have, because of the fact that this year you continue to hear, okay, 60% of this roster got turned over this year, right? So I think one thing we have to be very aware of is blown assignments with this team, at least in the first 3 or 4 games,
Hmm.
because you play some important teams in the first 3 or 4 games. You're going to get Tennessee and in Knoxville, and you're going to get Alabama at home. And so
Yep.
early on, we're going to be tested to make sure that we're doing that. And so getting off the field is going to be huge because we can't go and do a great job. We can't get a sack on first down. We can't go in there and stuff the run on second down and then have a blow up and can't get off the field on third down.
That's
Or
right.
we make a great stop on first down, great stop on second down, and then we're sitting here and we have another goof or somebody doesn't tackle well and we don't get off the field.
Yeah.
Because we all know this too, man. A key for Gunner, especially in those first SEC games, is having good field position. If he's got to start, behind his own 20, for 70% of the game, yeah, you're asking him to do way too much. And you're
Yep.
asking the run game to be perfect to get you in a situation where you can do that a little bit better. So I love the takes. I think I think we said pretty much the same thing. We talked about third downs. We talked about getting to the pass rusher. I'm sorry, getting to the passer,
Hmm.
creating havoc, and we also talked about tackling well. So
Yep.
let's look at coaching really quick because we know that a lot of our listeners are, I mean, Bobo, 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 but we're going to keep Bobo off this
I
slate.
mean, you know,
I
that's
mean,
me too.
it's easy to go there, but let's keep Bobo off the slate. But I'll start it out, and I've said this a lot this off season and a lot on this podcast. Is I think this year we just got to get Gunner comfortable, and I think Bobo needs to get him into the reins of, hey man, you're delivering the football. Think of it that way. Your job is
Mm.
not to say hut and be Superman. Your job is to, hey, we're first down. This is whatever it is. Nate Frazier is a star of this play, whether or Zach Branch is the star of this play. You're looking for this on this play and deliver the ball and allow them to do the electric things that I think some of these playmakers around them can do. What else you got, Fish? Game changers that are going to help us get back to the national championship in the area of coaching.
Time of possession. You
Yeah.
know, our defense has got to get a break. You know, when they do make the stop, like you were just talking about on third down, and they get off the field, you know, the offense can't go out there and just do 3 and out, man, and only
Right.
possess the ball for like 45 seconds.
Right.
Because no matter how good they are, doesn't matter. It
I
doesn't
agree.
matter the stars by their name or the rating. You know,
Yeah.
that's when they get tired, they're tired.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
No, it's a good
and
team.
they can't do what they need to do. You know, so like having a good run game, this all ties together. You know, it's college football for dummies. You know,
Yeah.
run the ball, grind the clock, let the defense get a break. You know, a
Yeah.
solid blow on the sideline. You know, that's
Yeah.
that's something that's got to happen this year. That would help. That would help us out so much.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, Another one for me is kind of a. I mean, yeah, it will kind of strike a chord with Mike Bobo, but I think it's just an overall general rule of thumb that we need to do this year is we don't always need to think that simplicity is the answer, whether it's offense, defense, anywhere, right? New looks can create new problems for teams. There's a lot of teams last year that could line up against us, and they dang near could tell you what was coming every time. We were very predictable. We were
Very
very
vanilla.
vanilla,
Yep.
and I think we're better than that. I think we thought last year that we had the team that could just blow the other team off the ball or could out finesse them in routes and catch the ball. And we had Carson Beck, who he's a Heisman Trophy candidate. He's just going to throw people open. I think we need to be able to give Gunner in this offense and as well as his defense an opportunity to be in the right place on defense and to, I don't know. I mean, I saw some really cool stuff even just in game one last year with Kansas State and Iowa State. Saw some really creative plays that made my eyes really move, and I'm watching it on TV. Imagine if you're
Yeah.
in the middle of it and your eyes are moving everywhere. You're in the middle of a sold out crowd, and there's so much going on, and you're trying not to jump off sides, but you're trying to get a good jump. And the next thing you know, man, your eyes are just moving everywhere, and the ball is in somebody's hands that you had no idea that it was going to.
Yeah.
That didn't happen a lot last year. Would you agree?
I agree. And you know, that's what did we average first half scoring points last year? What was our average? Like 4, 5, 6? I mean, I mean, I'm not
You wanted to
joking.
be in double digits, but I don't think it was.
I don't think it was either. I really don't. And
I,
that's huge
yeah,
because our team comes out of the locker room behind the 8 ball every time. You
yeah,
know, I mean, I don't think we were up at halftime, but maybe like 3 or 4 games
yeah,
last year. I mean, we were down what 24-7, 24-3 to Georgia Tech, something
yeah,
like that. You know,
yeah,
we had to come back. We had to make a dramatic comeback against the team we should at least beat by 14. Not to take anything away from, you know, Brett Keys and Georgia Tech. He's a great coach. They were a
right,
much, much, much improved team last year. But, you know, who cares?
right,
You know, we're Georgia. You
yeah,
know what I mean?
yeah. I think I said it. I said it the other night. I can't believe if it was on TikTok or somewhere, but I said, I said we got to stop. We got to start talking about how to put teams away in the second half, not try to, you know, get back in the
Can't be
game
playing
against
catch up every
teams.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you can't be getting back in the games the second half. You got to be putting teams away in the second half, and
Yep.
that will be like I would love to run out of the huddle in the third quarter, going, "All right, guys, it's time to bury the hatchet, man. It's time to
I
bury
mean,
the
you don't
hatchet and get out of there."
after after 3 or 4 weeks of that, dude, that's a mindset
Hmm.
changer before you go into the game. Because you're
Yeah,
like, oh Lord, we got to get these points. We got to get, you know, and there's added pressure, you know, added anxiety, you know, whatever, you know, like it can ruin a team. It can definitely affect a game plan and a mindset.
100%, 100%. Yep. And then I got down here, man. I think this is key too, and how it happens, I don't know, but we went out there and we did a really, really good job to get. I mean, there's some years you go out and you have to get. There's attrition that happens, and you have to build depth, and you have to build your future stars. But I do think that we recruited some now stars this year, right? I
Hmm.
think two names that come to mind are one of them we're going to talk about in a minute, but I'll focus on these two. But Elijah Griffin comes to mind, and Taylor on the offensive side of the ball. I think we can't be afraid to let freshman talent get out there, especially with a few games to kind of maybe make some mistakes and learn from early on, because there could possibly be a Ryan Williams in there somewhere, right? There could
Oh my God, I
possibly be,
know.
yeah, they could. Taylor could be it, but are we trusting the fact that it can be it? So I love the points there. I think coaching we have great coaches, man, and I'm not just saying that. Like Kirby puts one of the best staffs together, if not the best staff in college football, not only from a level of coaching and X's and O's, but I mean, it's just a really good group of coaches. I think cares about our team. I think they care about the culture at Georgia. I think they respect the Georgia G, and that's huge, man. Like that
Big
goes a
time.
long way. It goes a long way.
Yep.
Any other final things you want to add to coaching as we kind of get out of expectations for Georgia?
No, I agree with the whole not the being afraid to play freshmen. Because every year it seems like there's teams that are competing for the national championship, like have a legit chance to make it. With freshmen that are standouts. I mean, Ohio State and Alabama last year. I mean, like I'm not, and you don't want to say, Kirby doesn't know what he's talking about. He's afraid to play freshmen. Well, maybe there's a reason he is.
Right.
Who knows?
Right.
He's obviously a good coach, so you want to just believe and trust in him. But as a
Right.
fan, you can't help but want to see the same things that we're seeing trend at other schools all around the
Right.
country, especially
Right.
the SEC teams we play.
Yeah.
And you're like, why
100%.
can't we get these freshmen? We have these recruiting classes. Where's our freshmen? Like, where's
Yeah.
our 18-year-old standout that the announcers can't stop talking about during the game?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah. No, you're spot on, man. You're spot on, and I think we're on the same page and I think you're going to see that this year.
Mhm.
I'm just excited. Number one, I think it's like three layers, right? It reminds me of like an ice cream sandwich, right?
Mhm.
You open it up, man, and you bite the top, then you get to the middle, then you get to the bottom, but without it being all together, it's just not really good. Well, it's
Yeah.
okay. Maybe a bad analogy, but I'm looking forward to the game. My anticipation to see Georgia run out of there and play college football is the top. The middle is I want to see these players we've been hearing about. I want to see Ella Madozie. I want to see Zach Branch. I want to see where Frazier and how much he's grown. I want to see Taylor. I want to see this Noah Thomas kid who's just grabbing the foot. Like I want to see all this stuff, right?
Yep.
But what we need to see as a fan base is not. We need to see these guys coming out and see the electricity that's talked about, not just. I don't know if we can. It's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard to sit there through. Okay, what are we doing? Okay, well, we'll get it. We'll get it. I don't know what's going on, but we'll get it. No, it's going to
I
be
hate doing
hard
that.
to watch that
Dude, last year was
again.
torture. It was
Yeah,
torture last year.
yeah, I agree, man. And I got a little pumped there because I'm like, I can't do it, man. Not,
No.
not, not knowing the fact of the talent we have, and especially against these first two teams that we play, we have to come out with a I call it we just got to come out with a slasher type personality. Like we're
Killer
looking to
instinct.
bust this thing wide open immediately. We're not
No.
I don't care if it's first game of the season and everybody's just kind of getting some things under their belt and Tony
No.
Gibson's trying to figure out Marshall, and I don't give a crap
No.
about what Marshall's trying to figure out, dude. We need to set the tone early, and I think Kirby really needs to go back to that killer instinct, man. Like he's a nice guy on the podium. He's respectable. He's not going to talk bad about you. He's not going to say Tony Gibson's team, he lost 70%, 80% of his roster, so we're going to take it easy on him. No. We
No.
need to work on us. So we need to get them out of there. Like we need to tell them keep it cranked because
Yep.
you won't be out here long. This game's going to go real quick because we're
Yep.
going to figure some things out, and you guys are going to get like on a bus real quick, and we're going to get on to the next game. So
Yep.
I'm getting fired up, man. I'm gonna jump through the screen, dude, if you don't stop. All right. So a couple of just notable things, right? Position group things that you might see. Um, excuse me, coming out on Saturday. I think Fish, I think Juan Gaston, the big man, his stats change every day. I mean, he gets bigger and he loses. He's
I
lost
know.
weight 3 times during the week.
Yep.
But I think big Juan Gaston, I think he's looking at like 6'7". He's running like 340, 350. I think he's going to be the starting right guard. True freshman starting right guard on Saturday. And I think
Yep.
what it comes down to, man, is yes, I think there's some good things happening with Daniel Calhoun. I think Michael Uini has some great things going on. But I think when you look at the eye test and what we do when he is in the game at that position, when he's in these scrimmages, we have ran the ball very successfully behind him on that side. And
Mm-hmm.
I think we're just looking at it. I think that gives us hope this year where we look and go, not necessarily about the run game. We need to see it still. I think it gives us hope to go, hey man, they trust they're trusting this offensive line when these pieces are together. They've moved Ernest Green from right tackle to to left tackle to right tackle. So they're moving this line around, man. They're working to get the best five. And Ernest Green is a
Mm-hmm.
talent, but if his whole problem was he was on the wrong side of the bus, man, like, hey man, get him on the right side of the bus.
I know, right?
I think your wide receiver grouping, Dylan Bell, Colby Young, Zach Branch, and if we do per se run four out when we run out there in the first 3-4 plays, I think Noah Thomas is your next call. Agree with any of that? Like, what do you think? I mean, I don't know if we're going to come out 3 or 4 wide first couple of possessions, but we might. But anybody you think might break that lineup that I'm not thinking about? I know Humphreys has been talked about really in a positive way as well this offseason.
Yeah, Humphreys is kind of making a splash this offseason, especially in fall camp.
Yeah.
I've heard his name a lot, actually. Noah Thomas as well, man. I mean, but Kirby. Going back to what we were talking about a minute ago, Kirby's very loyal, to his seniors and his upperclassmen that have been there for a minute. So, Dylan Bell is in that starting three. He's got to be. And then, Zahn Branch paid a lot of money for him. So, he's going to be playing. Plus, he's supposed to be great. So I can't wait to see that. What about Colby Young?
No, I have him in
He's
there.
back.
I had Bell, Young, Branch. I think Bell, Young, Branch are the ones that run out there first.
Okay,
I do think he's
gotcha.
earned his. I think he's earned his. I mean, I've heard great things. The things I keep hearing behind these guys is leadership. Like you talked about London. He's been wearing the blue Guardian cap a lot. But I think George is looking for leadership there. And like I said, I think you see Dylan Bell there. I don't know about you, Fish, but I would love to see Dylan Bell have an incredible year because, I mean, he had so many opportunities to be like, I mean, it's just not working out. He's chosen time and time again to be a dog. And so you better know that I want Dylan Bell to come out. And if he wants to grab 200 yards against Marshall, man, I'll be jumping up and down for that kid, man, because
Well, I mean,
he's done it right.
He hasn't really been able to play where he's supposed to be. Like, he's been a gadget guy for us. He's had to step in and fill in some holes, and that takes away his practice from maybe him being a wideout. He's got to go back there and be a running back in practice for or for a scrimmage or whatever. So that's taking time away from where he's supposed to be and where his natural position is. And that man deserves a good year. Hopefully he can just play one position this year,
Right,
and shine.
Right.
He deserves it.
Man. I totally agree. And last but not least, I think defensive line wise, I missed one. Me and you kind of went back and forth on this one. I don't know, man. Something gives me the hunch Daniel Harris is going to run out there. That's been a position battle at cornerback 2. Fish, I think you think Ellis Robinson. I mean, the second scrimmage he was starting. You think we're going to see Ellis over there? And I agree.
I bet you
I would
a
love to see
$5 Starbucks gift card that he starts on Saturday.
It'd be, I don't know, man. It might be a good bet because I'd love to have another pumpkin spice latte that just came out yesterday. But then again, I'd be losing it if it's not true. Listen, I would love to see Ellis out there. I like you think that if Ellis can get his crap together when it comes to tackling, setting the edge, and being a trusted guy in that area, he is an incredible cover cornerback. And teams are gonna have to figure out how to be 3 and 4 deep at wide receiver to beat Georgia this year. So,
No.
in my opinion, I tell you what I'll do. I have a hunch and think Daniel Harris will go there, but I'm with you in rooting for Ellis to be out there, because if you do see him, it's going to tell a very big story for Georgia this year. It means that it's going to be really hard to throw on Georgia this year if you see both of them
Well,
out there starting.
and if Aguero is hurt and can't go, who's going to start at the start? You know, who's going to be number 3?
I've heard good things
Daniel.
from.
I mean, Daniel
I've heard
Harris
about it.
could slide over there, right?
He could.
He played star last year, didn't he?
He did a little bit last
bit.
year. I know Adrian Maddox, the transfer senior from UAB, has been over there, and they've really liked him over there. So I don't know. I mean, it'll be interesting. For all we know, 8 will run out there, and it could all be a big hoax, but it was worth reporting on because it's been talked about, you know. So,
Yep.
And then as far as defensive line rotation, I think Christian Miller has all but kind of set the tone for being the guy in the middle this year on that defensive line. I think Jordan Hall is an incredible story. Hearing the fact that last year he not only was having incredible issues with one of his legs, one of his tibias on one leg when he knocked one of them out, and then he turned around after that and ended up injuring the other one. So the guy literally was at times last year recovering from barely being able to just walk, better yet play.
Yeah.
And so another story like Bell, man, you better know I want to see Jordan Hall come out there and just do what he was supposed to do when he came to Georgia. And I want him to do that this year. I know Joseph Ajanye has been a name that's continuing to be called. And then obviously I want to see Elijah Griffin. I want to see the realness of this kid that everybody's been talking about. But man, we're getting to the end of the show, Fish, but we're getting to the exciting part of our show, which is the first week 1 picks. We get to fly through the SEC and then pick all the games. We're going to pick, of course, some of these out of the conference big games that we're going to be watching. So you ready to do it, my man?
Man, I've been looking forward to this all show. This is the easy part of the job. This is the
Let's
easy
do
part.
it. Thursday, August 28th, 7:30 p.m. Missouri opens up against Central Arkansas. No spread, meaning they feel like Missouri is going to beat the brakes off of them. Who you got with this one, Fish?
Oh, man. Give me Central. No, I'm just kidding. Missouri.
Missouri home opener, 7:30, SEC Network Thursday night. They're going to be pumped. Yeah, Missouri's going to get this one, man. But it would definitely be the App State, Michigan type scenario if this were to happen, man. And there's going to be
one.
Be
worse than that.
Really? Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
There's going to be one this weekend. I don't know which one it is, but we're definitely going to be sitting here next week talking about one.
I'll tell you in a minute.
All right. I'm looking forward to it. Looking forward to it. 12:45. I'm going to jump around. I'm kind of doing it less off times and more off of status of the games. 12:45 SEC Network on Saturday. Kentucky at home versus Toledo. Kentucky's a 9.5-point favorite at Kroger Field. Who you got, Fish?
That is not a big spread. Not as high as you would think it would be. This isn't the upset I'm talking about, but man, I'm picking Toledo.
Who? Hey.
Give me Toledo. Give me Toledo. I did that for you.
The Rockets, man. Man, I'm going to go Kentucky here, and I'm going to go close. And I'm going to go the biggest scare of Stoops' career. You're calling for annihilation. You probably were thinking, man, this is Stoops. You hate Stoops. Week 1, giving it. I think the only reason I think Kentucky wins is because they see the fact that I think they know in their mind this is a gotta-win game, or it's going to be an embarrassing season, right?
Yeah.
So
exactly.
But if it's close, it's as bad as a loss, Fish. If it's close,
if
it's within a touchdown, it's as bad as a loss. So I'm getting Kentucky. I got Kentucky by a field goal, and it's going to still be bad. It's going to still be bad for Stoops. So 12 o'clock noon, ESPN Saturday, Southern Miss. It's a home game. Mississippi State coming into Southern Miss. Mississippi State is favored by 13.5. Who you got, Fish?
Mississippi State.
Mississippi State.
I think year two with the new coach, I think they're finally starting to show some improvement, and I think they go in there and handle business like they're supposed to.
I like it. I like it a lot. I got Mississippi State as well. I think the offense will be better this year, and I think you don't have to worry about the defense as much against the Southern Miss, and so I think they score enough on the road to win. 4:15 SEC Network, Fayetteville, Arkansas Razorbacks versus Alabama A&M. There is no point spread on this one, but who you got, Fish?
Arkansas by 24.
Arkansas is the pick for me too. They better win because Pittman is his seat's hot, but bro, it'll be on boiler status. They may fire him immediately. They may not even let him come back into the locker room.
Yeah, that's
They may just
definitely a
escort him
nail in
out.
the coffin. That's definitely a nail in the coffin game
Yeah,
for Pittman if he was to lose.
And they
And
escort him
just like
out the
Stoops.
field.
Yep.
Golf cart. We'll give you a lift to your car.
He's going to
7
need
o'clock.
a police escort.
Heck yeah. Or maybe they don't give him a police escort and they say, whatever happens, happens. That's scary. 7 o'clock,
funny.
ESPN, Saturday night, in some 70-degree weather. 79, right up under the threshold of 80. In the swamp, Florida takes on Long Island University. Long Island iced teas are my favorite, but Long Island University, never heard of. Who you got, Fish?
Dude. I mean, obviously Florida, but yeah, who is Long Island?
Oh, I'm going to watch and see because they're on ESPN.
Me too.
I mean, I got to have 7 TVs this weekend. I mean, I might have to just take every TV I got in the house and line them up.
There's so
I gotta
many
see
good
some of
games this
man.
weekend, dude. It's
Great.
unbelievable.
I think we're even looking at Florida, Long Island, calling it great because we're just like, man, we've missed it too much. But I just got
give
to
me
see
some
Long
football.
Island. I don't know their uniforms. I'm sitting right here trying to figure out what their mascot is. I don't want to click away from it. 7 p.m. ESPN, UTSA, University of Texas San Antonio, goes down to the 12th man, Texas A&M. A&M favored 23.5 under the lights.
See,
Who you got, Fish?
A&M.
A&M.
That's
I got A&M as well. You got them covered?
23 points. That's what the spread's supposed to look like. Yeah.
You got them covered?
Definitely.
I like it. UTSA has been able to put up points in the past, but I think
Texas A&M with A&M, I don't think.
Yeah, I think Texas A&M takes care of business. 7 o'clock, ESPN, SEC Network, Nashville, Tennessee. Charleston Southern goes into Vandy. No point spread on this one, which means Vandy is favored by a lot. Diego Pavia makes his debut to win the national championship this year. This is game 1 on the road to the national championship for Diego Pavia. Who you got?
That's funny. I don't think Vandy. I think Vandy's done losing games they're not supposed to lose under Clark.
Okay. So Vandy it is. I got Vandy as well. I mean, Charleston Southern. Yep. I went to Charleston Southern for something a couple summers ago, and beautiful campus and great people. But there's one thing I saw that let me know that Charleston Southern is not going to be breaking into the football ranks anytime soon. And I've seen better high school equipment and facilities than at Charleston Southern, and so I don't see any beating Vanderbilt out of those facilities and what was going on. I see them giving a good attempt, but no offense to Charleston Southern, but I think you're behind the times on this game, especially in the SEC. 7:45 p.m.
Are the renovations done in Nashville? Do we still have cranes in the backdrop? At the stadium? Or are they done finally?
That's actually the best bet for the $5 gift card. Is the crane gone? Is the tire marks from the crane gone?
That's right? Hilarious.
I mean, is it still fresh because it pulled out? I don't know. Today. That's interesting. 7:45 SEC Network. Georgia State. Dale McGee rolls into Ole Miss to play Lane Kiffin. Ole Miss favored by 35.5. Our man who went to Georgia State, running back from Georgia, went to go play for Dale McGee. I can't get the name right.
I can't remember his name, but we should have used him.
Branson Robinson,
yeah.
man. Will be the starting running back over there, I think, for the Fighting McGees over there. Who you got, Fish? Ole Miss, Georgia State, 35.5?
I think it's going to be a game for the first half, and I think Ole Miss will pull away a little bit in the second half, just because of the athletes that they have. But I don't think they cover. I don't think they get close to covering. I think they miss the spread by like 14.
Okay. I dig it.
Still a blowout. Still a good game. Still a good win.
I dig it. 6 o'clock ESPN, SEC Network in Norman, Oklahoma, Illinois State goes to Oklahoma. Who you got, Fish? Spread on that is not evident.
Boomer Sooner.
Mhm. I like it. I think John
No
Mateer
idea about
throws.
how much.
I think John Mateer throws for like 600 yards in this game. Maybe not to pull him out, but they needed to see a good fast start from the offense in this game. So I got Oklahoma
Yep.
as well. It needs to be convincing. You got to show that this offense and all the funding that they put into it, that you got to show that it paid off, right?
Sounds
So I
like
got,
another team I know and
yeah.
pull for and cheer for and live and die for every week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Friday, August 29th, 8 o'clock, Fox Network. Is this game going to be on? Fox and
Yeah.
YouTube are beating up on each other, man. So I don't
Yeah.
know if they're
And
going to play
I
the.
get. Watching the game might be hard. Might have to. I don't know how, but hopefully it's on Fox and
Yeah.
it's fine.
Is there a radio station out there we can tune into? Anyways,
I have no idea.
at this moment, Auburn is a 2.5-point favorite. Fish, who you got?
I'm definitely going Auburn.
Okay.
I think if Hugh has just been pulling our leg this summer, you know, just felt like he needed to distract from something, or I don't know. I don't know. Maybe he enjoys being, you know, the butt of a lot of the jokes that we've
Yeah.
been hearing on some of these shows.
Yeah.
I don't know. But hopefully they go out there and, they got a good wide receiver core, man. And if the quarterback can get them the ball, I think they can, and Hugh doesn't pull the starter out and put in the other guy who is obviously going to run because he
Right.
brings him in short yardage situations. And so he doesn't even use them right. Like
Right.
last year, that was my wife would get so mad. She would just face plant, head and palm,
Yeah.
so much watching them last year whenever he would do that because it never worked.
Yeah.
It's obvious. It's just like, being able, for defenses last year with being able to know that when we play action, there's no threat that we're going to run the ball. And even if we do, we're only going to get a couple.
Right. Right.
It's just like that. Like they know what's coming. They don't bite on, they don't drop back to play, pass, they know what's
Yeah.
coming.
Yeah.
Then
No, I'm with you.
I think they can win. I think they got the athletes to do it. Definitely.
Yeah. As much grief as I've given Auburn over the summer, I don't think that Baylor can pull this one off. I think that Hugh Freeze and Auburn.
Waco's a pretty good home field advantage, though. Have you
Yeah.
ever seen the stadium? The stadium's like on an island.
Yeah.
Like you have to walk like down a path, to get into the stadium. Like it's really neat. I remember watching, RG3 play when he went to Baylor, and that place would get electric sometimes, especially when they upset Oklahoma.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I still think Auburn has enough. I think what could come into play is if it's just ugly. I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a Baylor win would be really not good for Auburn, but even a bad showing against Baylor, like just an ugly win, might not go far. But I got Auburn winning the game. I think it's close. I think it could be a game where you see Auburn they may be down at points in the game, and you might have to see them. I don't think this is going to be one of those Auburn scores a couple touchdowns and it's a cruise the rest of the game. I think it's going to be a back and forth type thing in some scenarios. But I think at the end of the day, Auburn pulls away and wins the game. So
Mm-hmm.
after all the grief I've given them, I still think they win the game. 12 o'clock ABC, University of Tennessee and Syracuse. Tennessee's a 13.5-point favorite, fighting Fran Browns. Who you got, Fish?
I think 13's a lot. And, a lot of people are downplaying, that I've heard when I hear them actually get talked about. They aren't giving them much credit or respect, and I don't really follow Syracuse a lot, but
Right.
I know they got a good coach.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whether
He's meant to be a head coach or not is still yet to be determined, although his first year last year was great.
Right.
Much improved over what they had been over the past decade at least.
Right.
So, I mean, I think 13's a lot. I think it'd be more like a touchdown. Tennessee will probably get it, but it won't be 13.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I got two upsets this week, and this is one of them. So I'm calling
Wow.
for Syracuse over Tennessee. I think Fran Brown is a gutsy guy. He got some talent. He got some names in there that maybe don't come to the forefront of people's minds, but I think there's a lot of controversy right now around Tennessee. You got Nico,
Yep.
you got can Aguilar come in and run this offense? You got, this boo, I forget his last name. Is he going to be eligible to play? And, so forth and so on. There's so many, 6 or 7 healthy, scholarship wide receivers. I mean, what is like, this is a great time for Fran Brown and Syracuse to get Tennessee, right? Opening of the year, they got some things. I think Syracuse goes in here, and I think it's just one of those crazy barn burners, man. But I think that Syracuse gets it done. I don't have a score for you. I don't think it's a blowout, but I do think they get this crazy, maybe field goal or last minute touchdown, win the game. And I like Fran Brown, and I think Syracuse was close last year on a lot of these games like this. This is the
They
one
were.
that this might be the one that puts Fran Brown on the map securely. Like, hey, he's real, right? So
Could be.
this is one I'm calling. I have a really good
I would
feeling
love
about
it.
it. I think it's going to happen.
I'm ready for Heupel to move on to Oklahoma.
Exactly. 3:00 ESPN, South Carolina, Virginia Tech. South Carolina's got 7.5 points. Who you got, Fish? South Carolina, Virginia Tech.
Give me South Carolina all day.
Yeah, I like South Carolina.
What was the spread?
7.5.
What was the spread? 7.5.
Yeah.
They might cover.
Yeah. Faison is eligible. So Faison, the running back transfer, I forget where he came from. It's somewhere on the West Coast. He is eligible.
Yep.
That's an upside for them. They found out 2 days ago. You add that to the already glowing list of returning starters on that side with the Norris Sellers. This is I don't know if it's close, but I think this is going to be a showing, a coming out showing for South Carolina. They're going to prove why. I think they're going to vie for a spot in the playoffs this year. 7:30 on a Sunday, Notre Dame. This is one of our outside of the SEC games. Notre Dame goes to Miami. Right now, Notre Dame's at 2.5. Who you got, Fish?
Catholics versus criminals. Give me Notre Dame just because I hope Beck
Versus
just
criminals.
throws like 5 picks or something.
I got Notre Dame, man.
Whatever. Give me
I got Notre
Dame,
and I just think that, like, what is the home crowd at Hard Rock for Miami? Like, there ain't one, man. There's no home field advantage.
No.
Notre
They're not
Dame,
very loud. They're not a very loud bunch.
No,
not very feisty.
It's like a chill scenario, you know?
It is. It's just like they're all in the stadium, just vibing, just relaxing. They're not really standing up cheering. They're just kind of watching the game.
Yeah, I 100% agree with you. All right, 2 more, and then we'll predict the big one. Alabama, number 8, Alabama going down into Tallahassee. 3:30 ABC on Saturday. Alabama is a 13.5 point favorite. Who you got, Fish? I'm sorry, we have 4 more.
This is my other upset because
Okay.
I've been to the stadium. I've been
Doak
to an
Campbell?
FSU home game. Doak Campbell,
Bobby
Bobby Bowden Field at Doak Campbell Stadium.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is my other upset as next to Toledo and Kentucky. Florida State's going to win. It might not be by much, but Alabama's down there. Running back. They're down there. Their team captain, that defensive lineman, he's hurt. He's probably not going to play this weekend. And Florida State's going to be hyped. They're going to be crunk. That quarterback's already talking smack. Gus Malzahn's been working on it. Dude, wow. He's been working on a playbook all summer. He has. We just started Alabama prep last week. Yeah, okay, whatever. He went 2-10 last year. Had historically the worst Florida State football season ever. Like, they're gonna be pumped, dude. This coach has got to have his team motivated. I'm not a big Norvell, right? Fan.
Norvell.
But I think he's going to be coaching for his job this year. Let him mess around and only win 6 games or less this year, not make a bowl. That man's gone.
He's gone. But in honor of the great Lee Corso, Not so
Not so
fast.
fast.
I think Alabama gets this done, man. I think Florida State, I mean, Castellanos has given them so much bulletin board material, man. It's the
No, he
coming
tried to
out of
walk it
Ryan.
back today.
Yeah. Oh, he did? He
Yeah,
walked
he
it
tried
back?
to walk it back. No, I didn't. I didn't really mean that. I meant that as I have confidence and faith in our
Yeah.
guys.
Well, it's already posted. It's been laminated. Every single time it happens,
Yep.
it's been laminated. But Alabama gets
Oh,
it
if it's
done, man.
laminated, it's official.
Yeah, I'm thinking Ty Simpson. I mean, I don't think he needs an extraordinary game. I think you just get the ball to these playmakers. Defense is going to probably
Yep.
hold the offense. I think Alabama gets it done in relatively easy fashion. All right, got a couple more left. Actually, we're gonna look at Colorado, Georgia Tech. Fish, you got them Friday night at 8:00, right?
Yes,
home
sir.
game for Colorado.
That I don't know.
So I'm trying to find them.
I actually don't know where this game is. Yeah, I don't think it's in Atlanta. I think it's out in Boulder.
Yeah, who you got, Fish?
Give me Georgia Tech.
Tech over Colorado.
Coach Prime has tried to say that the team this year is better than he had last year. He had better athletes last year. Obviously talking about his two sons and Travis Hunter. But this year he's saying his team is better. But I think Brett Keys is a great coach. We as Georgia fans have been scared out of our minds, the past 2 years in a row playing him.
Yeah.
And thank God, a neutral site this year is better than having to go play them at home in Bobby Dodd.
Yeah,
So, that's lucky for us this year.
Yeah, I got Tech as well,
Tech
man.
with the is that an upset?
Man, I cannot find this game, man. I had everything in order and I cannot find this game. When you added it, I was looking it up. I mean, I don't think it's an upset. I think you look at Tech's offense. I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to come down to Colorado making just a bonehead play. Right? I mean, you don't have the Shedeur to pull you out. I mean, I'm curious.
True freshman quarterback.
Yeah. I don't think. Well,
what was his name?
Wait, Salter.
He was.
Salter's
he was a highly touted. No, I thought it was the freshman starting.
No, Caden
That
Salter
big recruit they got
from Liberty.
Okay.
I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Juju. Yeah. No, Juju's not starting. It's Caden Salter from Liberty, but I still think there's going to be a bonehead play somewhere. They're going to blow something, and that's where Tech gets it in. I mean, believe me, these are two teams that are not perfect in any means, and so I don't know. It might be a little sloppy at first, actually, on the defensive sides of the ball. The offenses may click for a little while because I do like both sides of the ball. I mean, I like Buster Faulkner. I think he calls a really good game. I think Tech wins it, though.
See, that's what I'm saying. I think Tech is a really well coached team. I think that's a team where the coaching is why they're so good. It's not the players, it's the coaches, I believe. Brett Keys is a good coach, and Buster Kincaid or Faulkner, whatever his name is, the OC, he's great. I hope he's Bobo's replacement if Bobo so happens to, for whatever reasons unknown. Hopefully, I'm not saying I want this to happen. If Bobo, if we put together a good season, make another run, whatever, perfect, great. That's what I want. I want Bobo to succeed.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong.
7:30 ABC, Clemson, South Carolina. Number 4 Clemson versus number 9 LSU. This is a prime time game, man. Clemson's got 3.5 right now as a spread. 3.5. Who you got, Fish?
And to hear the talking heads on TV talk about Clemson this year, Clemson might win it all this year if what they're saying is true. And Dabo is a great coach, but and I don't like Brian Kelly, but as much as I don't like Brian Kelly, I think LSU is going to squeak by this one.
Yeah, I got LSU. I think LSU is poised to have a. First off, I think they need to they'll break the slump of opening games. If they can get past the opener, man, they've all. I feel like they can do great things. But Nussmeier, you look at the defense. Blake Bell that has restructured that defense. You got Whit Weeks over there, really great linebacker. You got Pyburn from Florida that transferred over there. You got a secondary that's revamped. I mean, I think it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to play in this game because it's going to be exciting. It's going to be loud. They're going to run down the giant hill and everything else. But I think LSU and Brian Kelly get it done. I agree with you on that. So give me LSU in maybe 6. Give me a couple field goals, in there. I don't think it's a full touchdown. I don't know
No.
why. I don't vision that
I
happening.
don't either.
All right, two more. Big one. Big noon kickoff in at the University of Ohio State. This will be Lee Corso's final college game day appearance, final headgear moment. Texas, number 1 Texas versus number 3 Ohio State per the AP poll. Fish, who you got, man?
All right, I've got 2 predictions.
Okay.
And one of them is a prediction about a prediction. I think Corso is going to go out the way he came in, and I'm pretty sure, I'm willing to bet, he's picking Ohio State with a big not so fast. Because I guarantee you, McAfee's picking Texas, guarantee you. Saban's picking Texas, guarantee. Herb Street, not real sure about 50-50. Dez is going to pick Texas, and all because of Arch Manning, by the way. But I bet you $1 million Corso picks Ohio State. I think it's going to come down to quarterback play. Whichever quarterback can handle the moment the best is who wins that game.
That's incredible, man. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it, man. I got Ohio State.
I don't even have a pick. I think it's that close.
I got Ohio State, man.
I don't even have a prediction.
I think Texas blows it. I think they're up in this game and blow it. I think they do enough. There's some fuddles here and there. The offenses kind of spurt. The defenses are both going to keep this game alive. I mean, Texas. I think Texas defense will show up. That defense is real. There's going to be some hard times in the trenches for the run games with these two. I think it will come down to which quarterback can control the offense. But I will say that just as much upside for Arch Manning, there's proven upside for Jeremiah Smith. And he's a man among boys, and he's unguardable at times. So I don't know, man. Give me Ohio State. It's noon. It's noon kickoff. Noon games in the SEC are not 4 big games. Texas has got to go to the shoe. Arch Manning's got to start his first real start against an actual good team. I still think Ohio State.
What a place to go start.
Yeah, man. So the stars are lining up for Ohio State, man, but not for Arch and Texas. Give me the Lambos to break down halfway in the game, and Ohio State takes this, man. I think Ohio State it's not going to be a walk-off type field goal. I think they're going to have it in the bag, man, with maybe 3-4 minutes left, and it's going to be exciting, but it's going to be a day for all that. Last pick, man, is Georgia Marshall, 3:30, ESPN in Athens, home opener for Georgia. What do you who you got, Fish, and what's your score?
All right. Georgia, obviously.
You want the line? You want the line?
If it's not, what's the line?
39.5.
If they don't cover, I'll be mad.
Yeah.
I'll be sad. I'll be shocked. Yeah. Well, not shocked, because after last year, nothing surprises me anymore. Yeah. Not that we even had a bad year last year. It was a funky year, man. Like even the postseason felt just wonky. You know, from the SEC championship game, to the end of the Notre Dame game, it was just, I don't know, didn't feel right. Definitely didn't leave me with a good taste in my mouth for our team at all. But give me Georgia. They better cover. I want at least drop 50. Yeah. Send a message. Put the SEC on notice.
Yeah.
You don't have to talk about us, but Gunner's legit. That's what I want the takeaway for everybody else who matters. That's what I want the takeaway to be. I want Gunner to put the SEC on notice. I'm legit. I'm here. Let's go.
Yeah. I like it, man. I like it a lot. I don't think they cover, and I'll tell you why. Because I think that we will get out to a pretty good start. I'm feeling like a 45-6 type vibe. I mean, that doesn't cover, crazily enough.
Hey, that's 39.
39.5, though. Doesn't cover. I get the half.
Okay.
I get the half in there. So 45-6, 41-6 type thing, couple field goals, get in there. I don't think we run it to 50 or 60 because Kirby just doesn't do that. I think you're going to see players get some time in there. But I do think Georgia wins. Biggest thing is just I won't, like you said, fast start, be great against the run. Let's get some great runs. Let's catch the football. Let's do things the right way so we can set ourselves up for success to try and go 2-0 before we go into Neyland third week of the season. So, Fish, I'm excited, man.
Heck, I
It's
want
going to
Puglisi
be
to throw for 3 touchdowns.
Puglisi, man. Puglisi, I'd love to see.
I want Puglisi to throw for 3.
Yeah,
I want
maybe
him to throw for
Montgomery.
3.
Maybe Montgomery for 3,
Mop
right?
up duty.
Crazy, man. Oh, my bad. It's crazy, man. It at the end of the day, I mean, I think Kirby's that type of guy to where it's like it's never going to get to that point because of the fact that he's going to want to see 3 layers and
Come
you're not going to
on.
see him do that, man. You're not going to see him do that. But hey, man, in honor of I don't know why that keeps firing off, man. In honor of Lee Corso, man, it's going to be a great weekend of college football. Fish, always a fun time hanging out on the pod, man. It's a great first week.
Yep.
We got a lot of picks in. We got an extended version of picks. Normally, it'll go a little faster than that, but we got a lot of games that we wanted to hit off, man. Any final last things before week 1 of college football kicks off tomorrow night?
No, just thank God it's here. It's here. We got a little sample last week, noon kick, the Ireland game. It was a great game. Loved it.
Yeah.
Loved it. It was a great game. Just made me so much more ready. Like I've been watching, like I said, I told y'all last week, man, I've been going back and watching any old game on YouTube I can find. And I'm not just, sticking to Georgia either. Like today I was watching was it Wisconsin and Oregon, the 2020 Rose Bowl.
Uh-huh.
That was a good game. Justin Herbert was the starting quarterback for Oregon, and it was just like that, man. I've been ready. I've been ready for a month. Let's go.
I agree, man. Hey, it's been a great night. Dog fans, if you haven't already done so, I'll end this way. Make sure you go like and follow us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Facebook, Dogs Down South, Spotify, and TikTok. Fish, as always, incredible. Hoping for a really incredible weekend. Hopefully, no injuries along anybody's fronts. Just good old-fashioned great college football. And hopefully for a win for Georgia convincingly against Marshall. For myself, for Fish, and for all the Dog Nation, as always, thanks for joining us on Dogs Down South. Have a great weekend, and go Dogs.
Go Dogs.